Hello. Um, yeah, I'm back. I'm trying to do this again. Took a little hiatus. So, there's that. So, my question that I've had for myself and I've had for other people are what are your axioms? Or your moral axioms, rather? A statement or proposition, which I can never say the first time. Whatever. A statement of propositions which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self evidently true, and that in response to um, morals. What do you consider to be the most true as far as morals are concerned? I wish for, or what I think to be the most true in that regard would be um, no one or nothing should have to suffer, right? Um, like, grief is just not a good thing. And I don't know why it's allowed to be. Um, People can be sad, sure, you're right. Like, there's, we have to get over the grief of losing a loved one, or, like losing something that means a lot to you. And granted, I mean, it just sucks. I don't think that like things should have to suffer unnecessarily. Is I guess the boiled down version of it. But the reason why this is important to me because I see a lot of people and they just attack things or they attack people that they don't understand, and they're making people suffer by being verbal, being physical, and it's like, well, it's like, I guess the biggest thing is like trans people, because like if you understand the nuances of the issue, like there's so much disinformation out there, and I guess what I really care about is that like you're allowing kids to just be around people that are not necessarily heteronormative, and you know they're not being harmed in any way, and that's the thing. It's like it's really really unfortunate because I stand up for LGBT people in general. Like, I never really saw the point in having people be unnecessarily harmful to people in drag or people that are trans, because they they can't necessarily help that who they are, and they shouldn't have to hide from who they are. And that's the thing. It's like you're making people, and it's there's just so much that is so unnecessary, and people are willing to let people suffer over this. So my question is, like, people who think that people like that should suffer, what are your moral axioms? What do you consider to be the most true that people like, it's like, do you think that people should suffer? Is that why you do that? You think that kids should suffer? Because they are going to suffer with that. And that's the thing. It's like, and if somebody is LGBT, all in general, and it's like, well, they shouldn't be allowed to suffer because they can't necessarily help who they are. And if if a kid wants to see a drag show because they want to understand a little bit more about themselves, then they should have all the power to them. Kids, I mean, it is what it is, but the goal is that, like, not everybody is going to be 100% like heteronormative. Like, there is just, people are what they are. I mean, I'm cis. I'm straight white male, and to me that just doesn't make any sense. Why, I I looked at drag people when I was younger, and it's just, I never thought to myself, oh yeah, that's what I want now. That's what I want to do. I want to dress up like that. And it's like, I don't. I never thought of that because to me it just didn't appeal to me. And I mean, yeah, if people want to do that, then that's fine. And I turned out the way that conservatives don't think that you would. I mean, I am liberal, so I guess that's one thing they don't want. But I'm, I as far as that goes, that is what I am. So I'm cis hetero, or I'm cis and hetero. So and I was raised around gay people when I was younger. So I'm not, so what's the argument here is that, like, this is going to invoke some kind of feeling. Well, it didn't at all. So I don't understand what your argument is. And if it allows people to find out more about themselves, then have at it. Life is short. Don't be one of these people who are, unnecessarily suffering because they would rather be gay, but they can't because they'd rather be homophobic, or they can't necessarily be because they have family that would reject them otherwise. You have different laws that can be implemented if things happen. And yeah, so what do you consider to be the most true? What do you consider to be something like, from what your moral perspective is? How do you feel? Where are your moral positions? And that's the thing. It's like, it could be anything. But the point that I was more or less trying to get to is that there's so much unnecessary suffering in the world, and I think that trying to figure out where you stand morally helps you better understand where your arguments are coming from and where there's a misalignment. Because it's like, well, I shared to you something that I believe. And this is how I see the world. And I feel that that is the most true, that, human suffering shouldn't be a thing, as much as it can possibly be. And granted, we don't live in a world where we can have everything we want. Sure. This is, you strive for the things that you want in life. You don't necessarily, like, you can't always get exactly what you want. And, I mean, I will probably never live to see a world in which I want to exist. But that's the thing. It's like, just trying to make the world a better place is better for myself. And what I would like for everybody else, because to me that just makes the most sense. So when I think of my moral axioms, I think, well, I would want this to be true. I want human suffering to not be as, I would want people to not suffer. And that is my morality. That is my moral truth, is that people shouldn't suffer. And it's like, okay, well, try to build anything that will build towards that goal. I mean, it's never going to exist, sure, but I can still build as much as I can for that goal, because you have to try to build a better world. This world, we evolved from cavemen. We've built empires and they've fallen, and we have tried, the whole point of differentiating us between animals is that we're able to write things down, we're able to pass along intelligence, we're able to speak and communicate. And I feel like humanity's on a good path from where it was. I feel like we've stumbled our toe, and we're tumbling down, but I feel like we can do better. And I think if we understand where our moral compass is, where it's pointing in what direction, we can figure out why we think the way we think, why we feel the way we feel. And it's very essential that we learn to better ourselves. We can still salvage humanity. I think that we're just I think that there are a lot of people that manipulate us into believing the worst aspects of humanity are the most prevalent, which isn't true. I believe that people are good people. We're just in bad environments, and we're not engaged with everything as much. And I feel like if we just allow ourselves to heal and know where we went wrong, we can build a better world for tomorrow. But that all starts when we know where we're going. And it's good to know where we're going. So, yeah. Love y'all. Tell me what you think. Have a good day.